the third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few.
Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition, the Wednesday edition of the Glenn Loud Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Just before I hand you over to Mr. Ladd, it will be very fitting for me to take this opportunity to wish our Muslim community Eid Mubarak, and we pray that this auspicious occasion brings you and your family peace, prosperity, happiness, and good health. So this evening on the Glenn Loud Show, Mr. Ladd will make his presentation, after which we will take your messages and, of course, receive your call this evening. Mr. Lal, good evening to you, and I think it's fitting for me to tell you Eid Mubarak as well.
Eid Mubarak, Eidul Adha to you. And to all you guys in here, good night. Josh, I heard a woman confessing at the masjid today to the imam how she and her family beat up a politician. The imam said, "Lady, confess your sins, not your good deeds." I came out the masjid and I couldn't stop laughing. Anyhow, guys, that's a joke. I did laugh out my heart when I heard that joke, because it matches so many politicians across this world. You know, it's fitting. It's fitting, because too many politicians doing too many evil and wicked things in this world. We have many of them right in this country. You agree with me, sir? Yeah, man. Yes. Brothers and sisters, I had promised the first caller Monday night to speak on the Gas to Shore project. And what I'm about to tell you guys here is just the tip of the iceberg on that project. I have never been more serious in my life. Today is a holiday, and I didn't want to come out to work. I didn't plan to do a program. I just wanted to stay home and enjoy this peaceful day, just to please my mom, because she is a Muslim. And growing up in a Muslim home, I can relate to somewhat with all Muslims across this world. Assalamu alaikum to all my brothers and sisters. It simply means, may the peace and blessings of our Creator be upon us all on this special day. So let me say happy Eidul Adha again. And let's get going with tonight's program. Every moment that passes by, the information that I see every day, I just could not stay home. I just can't stay quiet. It's too damning. It's too dangerous. Not just for me and you, but our children and grandchildren. Guys, this Gas to Shore project, in which the leaders of this country are silent, is nothing but a scam. It's a dangerous road this government and the opposition lead us out down. And we must, as a people, stand up and say something or do something about it. the previous government of Trinidad and Tobago, headed by a lady called Kamla Besesar. She was praised in the public. Man, the whole Caribbean was looking up to her. But she and her government put Trinidad and Tobago in a debt bind with a similar gas to shore project. She had a man named Kevin Ramnarine, who was the energy minister. He was the man in charge of the gas sector in Trinidad and Tobago. He and the finance minister, the former finance minister, entered into a deal with Japan for a gas project. Something just like what we are going into here in this country. That project now got Trinidad and Tobago in a bind. The new government, which is headed by Kaieteur Radio, is trying their best presently to see how they can wriggle out of the project to save Trinidad and Tobago. With that same deal, Kevin Ramnarine and the former finance minister, along with the Prime Minister Kamla Besesar, put the country in. I will speak more on the details of this deal sometime next week, so you guys can get a full understanding of what that country has found themselves in on this gas to shore project with Japan. There is much, much, much more damning and shocking revelations to come. But let me tell you guys this. The same man, Kevin Ramnarine, is advising our government on this gas to shore project. You guys hear that?
Yep.
He is one of the advisors to our government. So please bear that in mind, and let's get on with tonight's business. Brothers and sisters, citizens of this country, we are in a life and death situation. This is not a project that any citizen should take lightly. This is not a Marriott hotel. This is not a Borbees Bridge, a Skeldon plant, or the renovation of the airport. This is one of the biggest projects in the whole Caribbean, and by far the single largest in the history of Guyana. They started out very nicely by telling all Guyana they want our participation, they want our input. They placed ads in the newspapers, on the TV, on the radio, and also on social media, asking the whole world to participate and or partake. They had the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, conducting what they call a scoping exercise throughout the country and even online. It is basically to hear from the Guyanese people, what are their concerns, what are their fears, what you object to, what you have problems with, so that we, the Guyanese, could have a say on whether this project is good or bad for Guyana. But from the beginning of this project, they have not been forthcoming. They have not been clear and truthful. And I have pointed this out many times on my program. Remember, I told you guys the team headed by Jagdeo and Brasington met the press and told us not to record the proceedings. You remember that?
Yes.
Yes. You guys You guys ever ask yourself why? Joshua, you ever ask yourself why?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Why they're holding a meeting on such a massive, such a huge project and don't want the nation to know what's going on? Isn't that strange? You guys not smelling something?
Yeah.
You're not smelling danger? And since then, brothers and sisters, they have never faced the nation on anything in the oil and gas sector until now. Guess who's doing all the talking? The biggest crook of the world. The cat, what the leaders, what we leaders put for watch our milk. Exxonmobil. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. They are the people who answering questions. And when you ask them at these forums, they say it's not we. Ask your government.
Yeah.
We just participating in the project. We just helping them out. When you ask them for certain information, them say ask the government. When we confront the Exxonmobil people with facts, they say those questions are for your government. Them is the only one helping to push the project. As a matter of fact, they said them take themselves out. It's the government who pushing the project. Mm-hmm. And you got to go to them for the details. This is just a game they're playing with us, guys. And it's a dangerous Nancy story game they're playing with us and our livelihood. Guyana, let me tell all of you this. I want to be very clear and direct. This scoping exercise, this consultation with us, this participation with the Guyanese people is just a fluff. It is bogus. It's a fraud. Let me repeat that, man. It's a fraud. It's just a formality them have to do to satisfy the requirements of the laws of Guyana. It's nothing more than a farce, because they don't make up their mind that this project, this Ponzi scheme, this fraud must go through. Their own barefaced actions confirms this. Hear what they did. They advertised online and in the newspapers a few days ago how they're looking for private investors for this project. Guys, this public consultation exercise ain't even done yet. And them done they're looking for private people for this project.
Another farce.
You really think they want our input in this project? You really think Jagdev and Brasington them care about our voice, our concerns, our well-being, our future, our children's future? Man, hell no. No. Them done got the people line up for the project to rob this nation of its God-given wealth, what belong to all of we. It's another PPP project, not the party I'm talking about. A public-private partnership project. One that will be worse than the Marriott and the Berbice Bridge. Those two, the Marriott and the Berbice Bridge, are like pennies compared to this one. This gas project. This one, guys, is billions of US dollars involved. Not hundreds of millions. Billions of US. And I'm pretty much certain that some of you forget. You forget how these PPP projects does work. Let me give you a quick reminder. Them must take our money, your tax dollars that you pay in every month through your salaries, and put it in these projects. Guyana has put the bulk of the money in these projects, and the private people who put in the small change does be guaranteed to collect the hog of the profits in these projects. Man, the Marriott and the Barbies Bridge contract design. It designed in such a way that even if the project doesn't make money, Guyana have to find money to pay the private investors with our tax dollars. That is how Brasington, Jagdeo and Ashni Singh designed them. Let me give you guys a quick example, a simple example. Your daddy puts in $1 million of the family money in a baker shop. He brings in his neighbor with $5,000 in the business and make out a contract which says if the baker shop make money or lose money, the neighbor must get $1,000 a day for the lifetime of the baker shop. That's what it means. So if the baker shop doesn't make money, then the children got to go out and work to pay the neighbor the $1,000 a day from their salary. That is the contract that Jagdeo them signed with the investors for the Barbies Bridge and the Marriott Hotel. I have a gentleman sitting right next to me here. He paid me a visit. He's an accountant by profession, a chartered accountant too. He went through some of these projects, and he just looking at me and smiling here. That's a beautiful deal, man. I want to be in a deal like that. What you say, brother? If I can make money on my little investment, whether this thing make money or not, who doesn't want to be?
It's a win-win.
Who doesn't want to be in such a project? You're always on the win.
Yep.
And the Guyanese dollars is always in the lose. Guys, when I read that ad that Bharat Jagdeo Ministry put out, I hold my head and say, no, Lord, not again. This country can't take this one. Matter of fact, I had to say a little prayer for Guyana. And all you guys, listen to me carefully, all you guys need to say a prayer. Not only for yourselves, but for future generations too. Because that's the road Jagdeo and Brasington and Ashni Singh them taking us down again. And guys, the opposition know this, and they too are silent. Please ask yourselves why. The advertisement they placed in the newspapers, guess what it says? Anybody can guess? You guys read it? Let me tell you what it says. It says the government of Guyana is looking for private partners for this gas to show project. And the ad set out some impossible criteria for any one of us to meet. You know why? They don't want me and you to have shares in this project. Yes, them done got the project lock off with their own people again. The advertisement, brothers and sisters, is just a formality to show they are following the procedures in which they are asking the general public to be part of. But them gone back to the old tricks They pull on the nation with the Marriott and the other projects, in which them say the advertisement went on to say that the government reserves the right to reject any bid without giving a reason. Mr. Auditor, you hear that old trick? The advertisement said this, He said the government reserved the right to reject any bids without giving any reason. Yes. Man, y'all tell me, you want to put in your little $5,000 in the project, and them telling you that them reserve the right to throw you out without telling you why they're throwing you out? Huh? You see what's going on here? It's their own people, them done dragging there.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That's how they say they want investors in this project. You hear that? That's how they say they want to invest in the project. By telling you they're going to kick you out. They don't want your 5,000 brothers and sisters. They want them own people. With them own 5,000. So their own people. So their own people can kick in. Josh, I lose internet. I lose my internet. You guys hearing me? Guys, I'm getting, it look like I'm getting hit with the internet service now. I must remind you that the Kaieteur News website is being tampered with as I speak too. All day yesterday, I'm getting complaints from all over that people cannot read, cannot get the Kaieteur News online. Although I put up a firewall for 5 seconds to block it, we're still getting a problem. Let me get back to my program. Guyana, you guys will be paying them from our tax dollars for a lifetime if this project get through. But I don't want you guys inside. Ask yourself why they didn't design it as a public shareholding company, so that all Guyana can be part of it and make a few dollars. Why? No, they don't want we. They don't want none of you inside. Like I said, they already got their own people lined up, waiting to rape Guyana with all of us inside with this project. Guys, they don't want you all for 2 reasons. One, we will get to see the books, how the entity is running.
Yes.
So they're going to can't thief. And 2, plain and simple, them eye just long and greedy. They want everything for themselves. They don't want none of us to benefit, only them. You know, Auditor, I have learned over time that money is the root of all evil. But when I check the Holy Book, it says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yes.
Wow. I have said many times, brothers and sisters, this gas to show project is a dead donkey. And how this donkey will bury our future. It is coming to pass if it is run and controlled by these same people. The way they design that same Marriott and Borby's Bridge. If it's designed that way, call it a day. Yes, you got to call it a day.
Yep.
I remember our Vice President Jagdeo used to give one man alone the majority of the drug contracts to supply the Ministry of Health. You guys remember that? You remember that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. My auditor friend say yes, you remember that. Those contracts used to worth billions. And when the other drug suppliers used to complain, guess what Mr. Jagdeo did? He changed the rules and put in special clauses to make sure this same man alone is qualified to get the contracts.
Yep.
You remember that? Yeah, man. Mhm. This has been the leaders' modus operandi from day one. This is how they're operating all along with me and you money. And they don't mean to stop. Please, Guyana, if you're looking for a better life, if you're looking for a meaningful salary increase that can allow you guys to live the life you deserve, don't sleep. If you have to sleep, sleep with one eye open. Because the way these leaders running this land, you might wake up and find yourself worse than the people in Haiti eating mud cakes. And your children, while eating the mud cakes, will still have a huge bill to pay to these foreigners and those private investors. Guys, there is much more to come on this subject. Read the Kaieteur News every day and continue to tune in to this program every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. There's lots more to talk on this Gas to Show project. You remember Monday, I spoke about renting of supply boats. You remember that, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah, man. And how we are paying, how much? $55,000 US a day?
Yes.
Whether the boat work or don't work.
If it broke down.
Even if you broke down, you're paying $55,000 US a day. We are renting helicopters. And that figure has not been made public yet. They are chartering airlines, and that figure is also not available to our eyes. I found out yesterday. After my program Monday, I found out yesterday that Suriname is paying $12,000 US for a supply boat.
Wow.
And I wasn't wrong when I said Trinidad was paying about the same thing.
Yes.
So it means that Guyana is paying 4.5 times the price what we neighbors paying to rent boats in this country.
Until we show it.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. This is craziness that's going on in this land.
Chinese business.
Our neighbors, $12,000. And Guyana, $55,000 US. So Guyana would have lost out in the past 3 years in the rental of 24 supply boats alone, $1.5 billion American dollars. Man, I'm glad I have an auditor, a chartered accountant next to me here. 1.5 billion American dollars. If we neighbors using the same 24 boats, them would only be paying $105 million US for the 3 years. In short, Guyana is paying 1.4 billion American dollars more than our neighbors.
Wow.
Guys, that alone is actually Guyana's 2021 budget.
Yes.
This is the business. This is business going on in this land. And we don't know yet what we're paying on the plane services and the other costs yet. I am told only today that Guyana received an audit report where we hired a British firm to check Exxonmobil expenses. And the report is described as an abomination. Guys, the word abomination means outrageous, scandalous, atrocious, appalling, wicked, nasty, sickening, and basically disrespectful. And you know what I was told? You know what I was told? Our leaders here are happy with it. Guys, trust me on this. Trust me on this one. The money we don't lose out for that, from that one report, Guyana would have been at Dubai. All our worries and hardships would have already been eliminated. Salaries would have already been tripled, and we would have had enough money to fix all those pothole roads and dilapidated schools and so on and so on and so on. We are waiting. I am waiting for the official release of that audit report so that the nation can see the kind of business these leaders in this land doing with our resources, our oil resources. I am told also that Suriname helicopters, hear this one, Suriname helicopters is costing them 500 to 700,000 US dollars a month. Don't be surprised if Guyana paying the same 4.5 times per month.
As usual.
All these are information that needs to be in the open so that we can see what our oil money and how it's being spent and whose pockets it's going into. I told you guys we are spending billions and only collecting in the millions. Guys, if we continue spending like that, we will be continuing to collect in the millions. Mr. Accountant, I just have to smile sometimes and laugh so I wouldn't cry. You hear what's going on? I found out these things only Monday and yesterday.
People just laugh and cry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cry while you laugh.
Let me give you an update. Let me just give you an update on a story we carry in tomorrow. Nigeria had some oil spills and they tried to take Exxonmobil and their subsidiaries to court in Nigeria. Listen carefully. They were only able to carry the subsidiaries of Exxonmobil to court and not Exxonmobil. You know why? Because Exxonmobil did not sign the contract with Nigeria. The subsidiaries did.
Sounds a lot like Guyana.
Yes.
The Nigerians tried to pin Exxonmobil in the lawsuit because they knew that the subsidiaries will not be able to handle the fine. So now the court had to end up ordering the subsidiaries to pay $200 million US fine. We are carrying that story tomorrow in the Kaieteur News. Please go online. Take 5 seconds. You'll be blocked. Take 5 seconds, wait 5 seconds, and you'll read the whole story. The reason why this is so important for us, for your ears, brothers and sisters, it is because we are in that same boat.
Yep.
I want to make this clear. We do not have a signed contract with Exxonmobil. Our contract is with their subsidiary, SO Exploration and Production Guyana Limited.
Yep.
Them is the people who we sign the oil contract with. We just call them Exxonmobil Guyana or the oil players like I do sometimes. But them is really the subsidiaries of Exxonmobil. We carried a story just a month ago in which Christopher Ram, another chartered accountant, checked one of their financial statements and found out they made billions of dollars, ship it out, and only left 66 million Guyana dollar in their bank accounts. That is only 300,000 guys, 300,000 US. When something go wrong out there, that is the kind of money them left in the bank book here in Guyana. That is what they will be paying us with. Wow. Wow. This is sad what is happening in this country. Guyana, this is why many people asking why Jagdeo didn't get Exxonmobil, the parent company, to provide full cover insurance and don't settle for the 300,000 them left in the bank book for protect we. You see the dangers we face, Joshua?
Yes, I see.
Guyana, you see, are you following me? Are you seeing the danger? Please take note. Guys, nothing in this contract is in favor
Of us.
of any one of us in this country.
Say it again.
Nothing is there
Yep.
but danger and debts. Debts. I have been trying to find, ladies and gentlemen, some proper lawyers, almost a month now, to challenge this tax exemption that Trotman gave away to Exxonmobil. And do you know that on to this day, I can't find 2 or 3 proper lawyers to take this matter to the court so that Guyana can come out a winner, in which we as a people, we as a country can get our fair share of taxes in the billions. Guys, you got to ask yourself why it is so difficult to get lawyers. And you know, the opposition has so many lawyers inside, and yet Glenlal can't get 2 or 3 proper lawyers
Yep.
to fight this matter. That's a de-shore win. I was told by many people, take them to court and we will win. Guyana will win. Exxon will have to pay their taxes, like every one of us pay our fair share of taxes. Man, if a cleaner, if a garbage collector, if the nurses, the police, the soldiers, every one of us, every public servant pay taxes, why they should not pay taxes? So it's a sure win. I am pleading. Can any one of you help me find 2 good lawyers so we can challenge this blatant illegality in our courts? Please? Just give me a call. Give me a call. I want to go home early tonight. It's still a holiday. But before I close off tonight's program, let me say this. Running through the Stabrook News yesterday, I saw a tiny piece of news item that caught my eyes that I must share with you before I leave. Exxonmobil has just hired a new CFO, a new Chief Financial Officer, a lady named Catherine Michels. She was the former CFO for many large entities around the world. Companies like ADT, Xerox, Nalco, and many others. But most importantly, listen this, Josh. Most importantly, she was recently the CFO for United Airlines. Miss Harris, you didn't hear that.
Oh, I heard.
United Airlines. The same company, them same planes, Exxonmobil, chartering every month. Remember tell you all Monday? Eh?
Yes.
Yes. Monday, they're chartering United Airlines every month. Man, I hope you guys following the trend. Do you see the connection?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody see the connection?
Clear.
The former United Airlines CFO is now the CFO of ExxonMobil. Let me repeat that for you guys, man. Just in case your internet or your radio signal is bad. The same lady who was the CFO for United Airlines is now the CFO for ExxonMobil. And ExxonMobil is chartering the same airlines to fly in and fly out the oil workers at your expenses.
Yeah.
Remember I told you they also have a standby plane in Puerto Rico in which we all have to pay for?
Yeah.
Yes. Pay to just sit around.
Drink coffee.
Yeah, man, and drink coffee.
Donuts.
Eat donuts. Yeah.
Job like that.
Man. Guyana. These people are setting the stage for a kill. And they're setting it up from all angles. Brothers and sisters, you got to learn to read through the lines as to what is going on with these people in Guyana's oil industry. I'm tired talking. I'm tired. I'm getting thirsty too. Let me hear from you guys. The phone lines are now open. Josh,
Yes.
let me say once again, happy Eidul Adha to all the Muslim brothers and sisters. And you know what? Please give me a moment
Go ahead.
to repeat a piece of President Ali's message he sent out today to the nation. He said, Eidul Adha is a time to honor the examples of faithfulness demonstrated by the Prophet Abraham. The Prophet's willingness to submit to total obedience to the will of God represents the true test of spiritual devotion. President Ali went on to say, today, many of our countrymen and women are suffering from hardships due to the recent floods. Many have lost their means of livelihood and others have suffered material losses. We ask God to grant relief to those who are affected and to bless those who are assisting them. He said, may we too stretch our hands to those in need at this time. President Ali said also, the animal that is being sacrificed symbolizes the animal in the man himself, his evil desires, envy, jealousy, greed, and hatred. It is these acts that are sacrificed
For the love of God.
for the love of God. His statement,
Yep.
his words. Thanks for listening, and may God bless all of you. Thank you. Let's take the calls.
You're welcome. We have a very first call in the line this evening. Good evening and welcome. We lost a caller. 226-7453 and the 226-7454. Let me remind you that you can call us on 622-2222 as well. That is WhatsApp. Let me just remind you quickly when you're calling to please lower the volume of your device. If not, we'll be forced to disconnect you this evening. It's a holiday, so we know that when you call in, let's make it very short and allow other callers to call this evening as well. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Glenn Lyle Show.
Hello, good night.
Good night to you.
Going all right.
All right.
This is Mr. Glenn.
Yes?
Yes.
Great. Every night I was listening to Mr. Glenn. Mr. Glenn is very talking some powerful things for we black people.
Sorry?
I said Mr. Glenn, every night was...
Speak up. We can hardly hear you.
He's talking positive for the people, she said.
Okay, positive for the people.
She's on
We
line?
lost her. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. You're talking positive for the people.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Thank you.
that. Thank you so much. 226-7453.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I could tell you guys that Suriname is paying $12,000 per day for their boats that they're renting, while our leaders are paying $55,000 a day. Wow.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glenn Lyle Show.
Wow.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I would like to know why Mr. Jagdeo, with all the things what Mr. Glenn Lal is saying, why Mr. Jagdeo don't come on the Glenn Lal show and clear it up.
Hold on the line, man. Hold on the line. You know, you listen to me carefully, brother.
Yeah.
Let's don't bring Jagdeo alone. Let's talk about all of them. Let's don't talk about the PPP. Let's talk about the AFC and the Avenue.
Yes.
They are all involved. When you're asking these questions, man, try to be open and let's deal with this thing fairly. Why Jagdeo alone? Yes, he's heading to... Yes.
Why they're bringing people, Jagdeo, they're taking people for interview them or just asking them some kind of stupid question and then he's talking a set of story. He needs to come on this program and explain to the people why every country in the world getting 12% and you only getting 2% and why they can't do something about it.
Exactly. Well, it's all of them we have to blame, brother. All of them.
But
Because
they're holding the range right now and them could come and explain why they can't do something about changing the system.
my friend, listen to me carefully. The opposition is not even saying a word too.
That's right.
You're the opposition?
No.
But that's my point. The opposition should be speaking up for all of us too.
That's right.
But none of them coming to say anything. You know why they can't come? Read through the lines.
Remind us what the oil companies do when they come.
All of them getting benefit.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lal.
Good, thanks. So let us don't try to put blame on one side. It is all of them, my friend.
Yes.
So let us call on all of them
All the leaders.
to stand up for all of us.
All the leaders.
All right?
We have someone here that messaged us and said what we need to understand is that we cannot beg our leaders to come and face us. If they cannot face us, we already know what happened. We should not run behind them.
Very good point.
Well, it's a good point. But what becomes of a nation?
Exactly.
If he's to think that way, then what becomes of the nation?
There
What
you go.
becomes of all these poor people?
Yeah.
You know what? Are we to just
Sit back and allow it to happen?
No, are we to just lay back and die of starvation?
No way.
Is that what that individual is saying? No.
No way.
We should not. At least we have strength now that we can speak and we can stand up. So let us do it. Let us don't wait for it to get too late.
That's true. Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lal Show. Hello. You seem to lost that one there. 226-7453 and 22. It is. Trust me, it is. 226-74. We have another one. Good evening to you and welcome. Hello. Caller, good evening to you. All right. No, they're playing games with us this evening. Miss Harris, you can go ahead with your. Yes.
No, I was going to say the fact that people feel so disenfranchised with the government, and the fact that they're saying that even though we live in a democratic society, we have a right to hold our governments, our leaders accountable. The fact that people are so fed up with the fact that these leaders do not respond to us, they don't want to engage with us, is kind of playing into their whole plan. The more disenfranchised people get, the less engaged with government they become, and then they just get to run away with whatever they're doing. You have to hold your governments accountable. It is part of the democratic process. Voting is not the beginning and the ending of being in a democracy. It continues throughout their tenure in government, and it's not good enough what they're doing. So people shouldn't stop, and people shouldn't feel disenfranchised and not engaged. You have to continue to keep banging on doors, picking up the phone, and engaging with these leaders. That's the only way that change is going to happen, because they're still in charge at the end of the day. Yeah.
You know, when I do the maths and see for the last 3 years that we would have lost almost our 2021 budget, you know, it saddens me, because as an accountant, sir, you would know that money, had we got that money here, we could have doubled people's salary, tripled people's salary already. Am I correct? Yes.
We could have given out more for because we care.
That's right. Yeah, they could have given the Because We Care program they launched. They could have given 100,000 to each one of these students. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money, and that's only one item we choose.
Yes.
You just imagine what is playing out, what is going on with our expenses out here. For the last 3 years, like I said, this country should have already become Dubai with the kind of money they would have hunched us through there. Yes, sir.
Yes, good night.
Good night.
I just want to reintroduce Guyana to a gentleman. He's passed on now, but I just want to tell his story very briefly. This is a 54-year-old rice farmer from Berbice. Number 58 village, I believe it is, to be exact, that lost his life. In fact, he committed suicide. He was farming about 150 acres of rice land. And like any good farmer, he wanted to improve his yield and so forth. So he would have made some investments. So he took loans. And what happened, the floods came. And in the middle of harvesting his rice, you know, the floods came and damaged his fields.
Wow.
And the gentleman must have felt into a deep depression, and he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Now, that man could have been alive today had he had somewhere to go to get some relief.
Yes, exactly.
Now, the money that government is wasting or giving away to these foreigners could go to the Guyanese people, to that farmer, to give him some relief.
Positive.
You see?
Positive. Yeah. We would have had enough money to bring that man out from his misery.
So the fact is that as Guyanese, there are real people who have real issues, and the consequences are dire, while our leaders continue to engage in these types of arrangements that continue to put us in these circumstances.
Exactly. They're only looking out for their interests, their pockets. This is why they're all so silent. You understand? It's sad.
At this point,
Exactly.
if you look at it,
you guys saw what we would have reported on these gold contracts with Oh My,
Yes.
Aurora, Troy Resources,
Yep.
the Zinjin and so on. We're basically getting nothing from these people.
yes,
We're just getting some royalty. and royalties that is below what our own people are paying.
Yes.
You know, it shocked me just a few days ago when we carried that story, how the Troy Resources knocking off over 100 of our brothers in the
Yes.
field here. And their excuse is that, well, we're not making enough money there, so we
Yep.
don't have work for you guys there.
Yep.
We are going into underground mining. And you guys know what is underground mining. You don't need Guyanese to work there. They will be bringing in their own foreign skilled workers
Yes.
to do that job. So basically, we don't have jobs, right? And we are not getting taxes, and we're getting just little or nothing royalty. What them feel like paying.
Yes.
It's not. We don't have any watchman there to see what they're doing. So it's like we have these people in our country just shelving out our wealth,
Sounds a lot
and
like
people are
Rousseau.
committing suicide
Yes.
just because they can't feed their families, can't take care of the children, can't take care of the little loans.
Just,
It is sad. Very sad.
just yesterday in the news, there's a policeman who's asking for assistance to have some medical treatment done.
Yes.
And you think about it, it's really saddening, knowing that he's a serving member of the Guyana Police Force. He is working on Guyana's behalf, trying to enforce the laws and keep this community and this society safe. And he has a need, and he has to resort to coming to the public and begging for assistance when billions of dollars are leaving these shores every day.
Exactly. I know the gentleman. He came to me. Somebody sent him to me for help. He has to do a brain surgery, and it will cost him about $7 million. So he have like 3. So he come to me and say, Glenn, can you please help? I say, yes, I'll help you. But let's go out there. And I think he went up a newspaper and they carried the story that he's asking. A serving member of the Guyana Police Force. The kid is a corporal. Right? The kid is a corporal of police. Now, we should not be begging for money for these things. We should have been fixing, like I said, all our issues already. With the kind of money we already given away.
And one of our leaders went to Miami for Nara.
No. You just come to the mic. So it's I don't know what to say. You know? And the only thing you hear your leaders saying, well, we banking system don't have money. How our banking system will have money when you guys are allowing these people to fetch out all our resources? The resources should have been bringing in money,
Correct.
not taking it away. And one thing with all of them, you know, they're quick to say jobs. Oh, how much jobs are created? Brother, I keep telling you guys, we don't need jobs in this land. Nobody needs jobs in this land. We need proper deals with all these contracts. We need to partake, we need to participate. All these contracts, these supply contracts should be given to people like me, Glenlal, Ulal, Silal, Jones, Johnson, and everybody. We are the people who own these wealth. But instead, you guys are giving away these contracts to the oil people. Or I shouldn't say you guys giving away. I don't think you guys know that you're holding the stick in your hand. You are the one who have to authorize and okay these contracts. You left in that for the oil companies them do. What kind of backward clumsiness this is? Huh? Grab back all those things from these people. And say, come here. We are in charge. And all these contracts should be going to the Guyanese people, not jobs. For God's sake, man. Understand, take some business. Wow. I'm tired, man.
Good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lal Show.
Yes, good night. Good night to Mr. Glendale and good night to the entire Guyana. When I listen to this program, what it carried me back to is still in the same place. I saw a movie at the Globe Cinema by the name of The Greatest Train Robbery. The Greatest Train Robbery is the name of that movie. And what is taking place here right now is the greatest highway robbery.
Yes, I believe you, man.
The greatest highway robbery, and I have a thing they call the political corrupt transaction that was taking place. Political corrupt transaction between the government, the opposition, and the I leaders.
They're all colluding.
Yes, they are colluding.
They're in one.
They are colluding. It's not a one-sided thing. It's all of them are enjoying big fat money.
They're all in one bed,
Yes.
sleeping together, man.
All of them enjoying the big fat money, and the Guyanese people, all of us, the Guyanese people, are not enjoying anything. They're wicked.
Wow. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.
Caller, good evening to you and welcome to the Glen Lal Show.
Good evening, sir. I'm glad I catch Mr. Glenlal, man. You know, Mr. Glenlal, you exercise a lot of intelligence and tolerance. You know? But you don't understand this system. And what you don't understand is this what you don't understand, sir.
Teach me.
Well, don't try to show it to me. I watched you yesterday. On the radio, I listen to you. I'm sending things on the Facebook for you there. But this something I have to tell you. This country here, sir, is a pirate country. You know what I tell you?
Yes, go ahead.
The French pirate this place from somebody. And the Dutch come and pirate them from the French. And the British come and pirate them. All of Europe. And Jagana, no, Mr. Bonham, get on paper. Name the instrument of independence. That's just some paper. These resources from this land belongs to Columbus family. You never respect for the color white. That is what you have to have. And that is what the governments and the opposition have in this country. And if they don't have respect for that color white, they have to leave office. You know see what happened with Cherry Jagger in 1964? You know the Madam Sirance Lynch. She's the boss here. You have to understand, this is Columbus relatives them. On the other hand, this money going to the white man land. By the way, 5% for all my gold mines. 1992 they start when the PPP take office. But that's might bring them. Very gold gone, very amount of gold and what happened right after. This resource got to go to the white man. Now, if you look back at Guyana, you would see that after independence, Guyana developed a scare drain. Where you and the politicians and people in this country say it's a brain drain. It's not a brain drain, it's a scare drain. And the people migrate and gone all over the world. Me, got me nephew and niece born and live in Holland, America, Canada. And them go get the money from the oil body, let the white man carry the money and carry oil because it's Columbus family thing and you go give them back in loan.
So you're saying we should go and live in the Columbus family too?
That's why I'm telling you, what think of it, go. Every Guyanese got people out there. You what? This country is trade robbery. Guyana got thing great trade robbery. Guyana great trade robbery. The main players them in this game is the people in high office, the trade sector, the judiciary, the trade union leaders, and the church leaders, the pandit, the Meiji, and all them boys there. Them got the poor, how they want them. And there's a Guyana in the country, there's nothing you can do. It's Columbus family, the money going to. It's a trade robbery. Look at Guy Suku. When Mr. Borman nationalized Guy Suku. Look at that. You know what took place there? You don't know what took place there?
I have an
False
idea.
information spreading all over the place. Gaisuku were being sabotaged through arson that end up on economical arson today, where the carbon dioxide circles in the air from then and bankrupt the whole economy. Mr. Boram nationalized a corporation for we Guyanese, and he faced that bankruptcy. He had to handcuff roti, ban basic food item, because he got money for buy. As simple as that. This is a pirate country. You understand what go on? Everybody got a family outside. It's a trade robbery. Look at Gaisuku back again. Who you think is the best of your brain, intelligence you got? Who you think individually are the best, most foreign exchange, greatest foreign exchange owner in Gaisuku? Who you think?
In Gaisuku?
In Gaisuku, Guyana, I will tell you about
Gaisuku.
America, Suku, Guyana.
Gaisuku.
In Gaisuku, what the greatest?
Gaisuku barely brings in a little
Barely,
foreign exchange.
Barely,
And the little they bring in,
Barely is the security work. Barely, you know what the greatest foreign owner, economical owner for Gaisuku? You know who is he? Answer me, you know who is he? Me
No.
can't see you.
No.
Go, Dr. Cherry Jagan. The Gawu. What are you telling me? That man earned and turned in the cooperation to create the union as a weapon and a great honor, a great trillions of dollars. Today, Jagdeo and the PPP have got to pay African people, violence Indian people in their house, drag their wife, beat them, do what they have to do with them. You know who talking to you here must watch on Facebook and see.
All
And
right.
you will see who talking to you. And
I
then
hear you.
on the same program you talking about what? Then you
hear
go
you.
and block up the president gate, your mattress. Just arrest yourself, but you and your wife being and I got them belly for the them thing there.
So you're not joining. You're not coming.
Me done been
don't
and
give
block
up.
up Jagdeo gate already. Where you been? Me and Civic. But you been when me been a black Jagdeo gate with me mattress. My fact that I'm Harris, Julia Johnson, Nazima Ragubir and the whole team. You been?
I hear you.
You
I hear you.
understand thing now? You talk too much about violence, you.
All right, I hear you.
Understand why it's a pirate land, Jagdeo know that.
I hear
Jagdeo
you.
been taught at Jagan, learn that. Jagan will feel enough cool with the guy and he go on and win and turn King Guyana. No, the white man said no. Go in the opposition. 20 years. Sit back here.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. I hear everything you say. I hear how you give up. I hear how
He's a
you
serious
give up.
ranter.
You have a good spirit though, and a good understanding of yesterday's Guyana. I just want to tell you about today's Guyana. The world you came from, or the year you came from, we are living in a different atmosphere, my friend. And I believe what is for me in this land, I have to stand up and fight for it.
Indeed.
Whether you join me or you don't, whether you throw a negative act at me, I'll accept it. But I want to continue fighting this fight. And I will not give up. If you give up and you want to go live in the Columbus family homes or countries,
You're free to go.
you're free to do that. Thanks anyway.
I have a question here from someone. Would Guyana ever get to know who they plan to bring or put in the project?
If Guyana?
Would ever get to know who they plan to bring or put in the project?
Wow. That's a beautiful question. If Guyana will ever know. You know, Josh, the Marriott Hotel has private people in there.
Correct.
And we never know. We can never know who they are.
Who they are, yeah.
You know who put them in?
Yes.
The previous government, the Jagdeo.
Yeah.
And Ashley Singh them put them in here.
Yeah.
And now if they go down the same road with this gas to show project,
You will never get
we
to
will
know.
never get to know.
There we go.
If they go down the same way. Because they're going to banks. And banks is where is what they will use to fund the project. Right? So you cannot get that information from the bank. The banking has what? Secrecy laws? Confidentiality clause and so on. With the banking system, you can't go get there unless you get a court order. So, as a matter of fact, I was thinking to get a court order to go to them, but they went to Trinidad. They took the Trinidad Republic Bank, not even Guyana Republic Bank. You understand? So now if they go to, let's say, the IMF or the World Bank, right? Is the government has to design this project. Is the government design the Marriott? And they go to the World Bank and say, listen, put together a team to invest in this gas show project. You put together what you call it, consortium. Right? If you ask the bank to put together a consortium, like what they did with the Marriott Hotel, then Guyanese will never know. Only the bank and those persons will know. And the leaders who bring them in. So we would never know.
Sure.
That's a beautiful question.
It is. Hence, you have a call on the line. Caller, good evening to you. All right, seem to. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Earlier you said you encourage people to read the Kaieteur news and to log into your program and to listen to what is happening. Now people are doing that all the time, and there's no justice for people because it's like throwing water on duck back, right? So now let me understand. The people in the street, their cry is falling on deaf ears, or let's put it more direct. It's like you're trying devil case in hell. There is no justice for the people in the street. There is no justice for people in the street. So, as far as I see it, we can cry from now until thy kingdom come. There would still be no justice. What people have to do is, if you need justice for the people in the street, they have to be encouraged to fight for their own justice, street justice. Eliminate those people who are causing corruption in the land. You gotta start to encourage that because there's no way out. There's no way out. What do you think?
You know, Trinidad right now is going through a horrible state of affairs with a gas project. Kamla Besisar and Ramnarain throw on Trinidad and Tobago. And it's so devastating that I can tell you this. I will elaborate on it sometime next week more. But I can tell you this. The public servants of Trinidad and Tobago was able to put their heads together and block Kamla Besisar, Ramnarain and the former finance minister for carrying out the full extent of the project. Hadn't they stopped it, listen this, hadn't they stopped it, hadn't they put their heads together and hold their office, that project, by now Trinidad is dead. I'm going to speak a little in depth on it sometime Monday or Wednesday. But it was a few public servants that had to write back Ramnarain in red ink, and tell him, no, we will not approve this project. But he had already, they had already gone with the project to an extent. But the public servants hold their heads and said, no way, we are not going to sign here. And put it in red ink to the minister. So,
but
wait, my point is, if we educate people as to their rights and privileges, and know that if they understand what they're doing is wrong for the nation,
Yes.
they can stand up, bro.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, but the whole point is that you can educate people from now until Judgment Day. The whole court that is playing Guyana is like devil case in hell. You wouldn't have... Look at the motion filing. Who are there to determine whether the motion will go ahead or if it can pass or if you can have any justable action? None. Because those people in charge gonna swing it around to suit their way and show the legal side for them and the good side and the honest side of them and nothing doing. So my point is that these people like the Brassington and the Ashmini and the Barajagdeo, they need to be eliminated.
What
do you think?
What do you mean? Get them out of office?
Yes.
Not get them out of office, get them out of their life. If a person,
Yeah, cut it,
if a
man.
person gets
Cut
charged
it.
to murder, they go to
Delete that, Raj.
You have to, you got to be careful with your language.
Yes.
Guys, you got to be careful with your language. Because the next thing you know, the people will come and arrest you.
For treason.
No, arrest you for threatening. Right? So you got to be careful with your language. Yeah, I agree. If you're saying if they can't lead, they should get out.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Put out.
Yeah, put out the office. But I like your spirit. However, I don't agree with many of the things you said. I don't know to give up. I don't know to give up. And with that kind of attitude, my friend, if all of us to follow your thinking, this country is doomed. And I don't want to ever believe that.
Dr. King and Mandela didn't give up. Gandhi didn't give up.
Oh yes, many leaders. You don't have to go so far for that. Many people did not give up. Cherry Jagan did not give up.
Yep.
You know, Walter Rodney did not give up.
Exactly.
There are plenty of people. There are good fighters in this land.
One thing I've noticed is that Guyanese people always say that we're very resilient. We've been through so much, constantly, every single time. I want to challenge Guyanese people to stop being resilient and to start fighting, fight back. There's no sense in being resilient.
Correct.
We don't always have to be strong.
Exactly.
Take what's owed.
Exactly. The fight must go on. Without fights in one's life, there's no life.
Yep.
Every day is a struggle, one after the other. There's something you got to fight for. You fight with your families. You fight with your villages. Because you see things that isn't going the right way.
Yes.
And you have to stand up and say something.
We fight for justice.
If all of us think in that direction, then we'll all be sitting ducks.
We should just roll over and die.
Yes, roll over and
That's
die.
it.
Good sign?
Yes. We don't have any more callers this evening, so
Everybody went to bed? It's holiday?
it's a holiday. So it's up to you if you want to take early night.
You want to say, give him the mic. You want to say something.
Yeah, before we leave, I just want to tell Guyana that we can't burn down the forest to save a tree. What our leaders are doing is basically burning down the forest to save 1 or 2 trees. So a few people in this country are going to get wealthy or richer, but the vast majority of us are going to end up impoverished. And today I was just reading up a little on Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that, as of 2016, we're producing almost 2 million barrels of oil per day. Now, did that translate into a better living for the Nigerian people?
No.
Of course not.
No.
The average Nigerian, in fact, the minimum wage in Nigeria is $79 per month. So when our leaders come to us and tell us, let things ramp up by 2025, it's a carrot and a stick that they're dangling on before us. When they talk about jobs, a job is just a job. What are you earning is the difference. So we've got to think of it in that context, that we can't allow the leaders to burn down the forests in the hope of saving one or two trees.
Thank you very
for that.
much. Thank you so much.
You know, our leaders believe jobs with a salary is earnings. They don't understand salary is completely different from real earnings. Earnings come from our wealth, brothers and sisters. What you earn from your gold, you earn from your diamond, you earn from your bauxite. We should be earning from our manganese and our oil now. That's what we should be earning. That's what is called earnings, not a salary, not working for these little leaves that are flying every day in our faces. No. Real earnings come from our resources. Guys, thanks for listening.
You're welcome.
And may God bless all of you once again.
Have a great remainder of your evening.
And have a great evening.
Bye-bye.